Good evening again, Brace Facers. Hi, welcome back. I'm Dana and I am an adult with braces. I am going to talk to you today a little bit about the waxes for your braces. Wax is used with braces, and this, just so you all know, I'm doing this because I'm an adult, I have braces, I have never had braces before in my life, and I found out that like 40% of all people that have braces right now are adults. So I thought, how many adult videos are out there for people who have braces and who don't have teenagers to ask or didn't have kids in braces or what have you? I did have a child in braces, but at the time I didn't think that I should ask him any questions about it because I didn't think I'd ever need braces. But as I got older, my teeth had begun to shift around. I had one tooth that dropped back. I had some layering going on the bottom. And it was just time to actually take care of my teeth. Again, I am using my husband's equipment here that I had bought him for his public speaking, which he never got to do because unfortunately COVID took its toll on my family and my husband passed away from COVID 7 months ago. So this is kind of my way of beginning to reach out to the world a little bit more. I think I've said that before in another video. I am not a techie, I am not an internet person, I'm not a social media person, so I am trying to branch out. Bear with me, I am not a professional speaker. I don't usually have a lisp. I am usually a very private person, so for me to actually even do this is something that's out of my comfort zone, so bear with me. Okay, so today, having said all of that, I'm going to talk about some waxes. I've got two different colors of wax here, well, two different colored cases for wax. This one is a company called Gum, and I'm not promoting Gum. I don't get any sort of check or whatever from them or anything else. I don't get anything from anybody right now. Wish I did, but I don't. Anyway, so this is wax that they put out. I went and I bought this at a department store, I guess department store, grocery stores, wherever you buy your toothpaste, you can basically find the products for the wax, sorry. And then I also have a case with no name on it, and that's because this came from a packed, I guess a packed braces, or yeah, I guess maybe a packed braces kit that I bought online off of Amazon. So the wax is for areas of your braces that scrape, that irritate your tongue, your cheeks, anything. And I happen to have a bracket or two on this side that rub against my cheek, and it drives me a little bit crazy sometimes because it can get kind of scratchy and irritated. Some people think that you should just let that callus over and deal with it. Well, that's all fine and good, but in the meantime, if you're in a job where you talk quite a bit, or you just have sensitive mouth, it's not great to sit there and feel the scratching, scraping all the time. So you want to use the wax to try and cover the bracket a little bit. Also, if you're like me, you have brackets in the back on the inside that are under your tongue, and I'll show you that. And there went something. Anyway, you can see the brackets back here. Bear with me. So I don't know if you can see them. Hopefully you can. But those are two brackets on the inside, and they have a weird little U-shaped hook that actually points inward. So when I'm talking, as my tongue moves, it is dragging against those little things. And even though they're smooth and rounded, they become an irritant really quickly. So I use wax to cover those. I also use wax to cover the bracket that's up here. And I don't know if I can zoom in on this or not. Let's see. Nope, I guess not. Well, anyway, I'll move forward. Okay, so the wax. Inside these little wax cases, there are rows of wax. These are just little wax sticks all stuck together, and they really do feel like just a wax crayon. They're a little bit softer than a crayon. What you're supposed to do is break off a very tiny piece of this, like maybe half the size of a green pea, of a sweet pea. You roll it around in your fingers a little bit and let it get kind of soft. And then you're supposed to put it over top of the bracket. That then protects, it causes like a little soft spot instead of having the bracket that's rubbing against you. I have found that all waxes are not created equal. So this wax to me is a little bit harder than this gum brand wax. This wax is a bit softer and gooier. It doesn't look like it here, but it gets soft and gooey pretty fast. It also, this one is segmented. So you'll see it's got some little segmented spaces on it there. Hopefully you can see that without too much glare. Still glary. Anyway, that one's got segments on it. You don't have to use the segments. I usually use about half of one of the segments when I'm doing this. And these that came in the kit don't have segments on them because they just allow you to make your own decision on it. So I'll show you what I do. Here's part of one of the little wax sticks. I try and start on one and just work that one until it's gone. But I break off a little piece just using my fingernail, my thumbnail. I just kind of make a perforation around it and then just pull it off. That's all. So again, I have a bracket over here that drives me a little bit crazy. So I just roll this into a little bit of a ball. I'm just mushing it and squishing it and letting it get kind of soft. Just the heat of your fingers and the movement of the wax does it. And then you press it onto the area that's bothering you. And I'll show you that. This bracket here is on it, scrapes the inside of my mouth. So I'm gonna put some wax on it. Just take it and you mush it on. Now, it's not attractive. Nope, not at all. And it works better when your mouth is dry. So I should have dried that one first. But just for demonstration purposes, I'll just leave it on there for now. This one I find stays on a little bit better even when it's not dried. Now the ones under my tongue are a pain in the butt. Believe that. Those I literally will get paper towel and hold my tongue down as much as I can by itself and then press in there with folded up paper towel to dry it as much as I can. Otherwise, the wax doesn't stick. Doesn't stick. So it will come off. You'll end up chewing it. If you have it in your mouth and you're eating, you will swallow it. It will pop off when you're brushing. It will pop off when you're talking. You will mess with it with your tongue as much as you can because it becomes a little bit of an irritant, but at least not a painful one. And everything in the mouth seems magnified. So you have the tiniest little thing in there and it just feels like it's something huge. Even though it may be the smallest little speck of wax, it feels ginormous in your mouth. So the wax, like I said, it's not attractive. It's like a white blob on your tooth, but if it stops the scratching and the scraping so that you don't end up with ulcers in your mouth, then just use it, seriously. Under my tongue, it is almost a must. I do try and eat with mine on because even the act of eating and even now while I'm talking, it's just digging. So I try and leave it on while I'm eating as much as I can, but it won't always stay on, I'll be honest. You'll be reapplying it. And for the ones that are inside, I have discovered that, and you probably would have anyway, but I'll just help you out. If you wear rubber bands and you have these hooks on the inside, you have to put your rubber bands on first. And the rubber bands are going to work the wax off faster than if you didn't have rubber bands on an area. Like up here, because there's no rubber band attached to that tooth, that'll stay on there for a good few hours. The rubber bands, because they stretch and contract, will work the wax off. They kind of keep the wax moving. So it's not a perfect system, but if you put this on first, because you can't get the rubber bands on with the wax over the bracket, obviously it won't work because it's covering it. So put your rubber bands on first, then put your brackets on. Then put your wax on. And when you're brushing, Please remember to take your wax out before you brush. Otherwise, you're going to end up spitting out wax with your toothpaste, and you're going to drag it all over your mouth, and you're going to be like, ooh, what's this weird lump in my mouth? It's your wax because you didn't take it out. So that's about it. That's my 10-minute say on wax. Again, I'm sure that this comes in flavors. I have no flavors. These are just plain. This one came in a kit that I got offline. This one I bought at the grocery store. So use what works for you. I'm not saying either one is better. Again, I did try Orthodots. I'm trying to reach them for you. I did try these Orthodots. I'm sorry, Orthodot people. I really don't mean to offend you, but these things don't really work that great. These say that they work with your mouth being wet. I have yet to get one of these to apply to the inside brackets. It just doesn't stay. And they're kind of delicate. So it says you're supposed to pinch it around the bracket. You can see there on the back. It shows someone pinching it around the bracket. I've tried this, and what happens is it ends up poking through the bracket. I mean, like the bracket pokes through the Orthodot. So great idea, I guess, but not good execution. So hopefully they'll take a tip and kind of work on their product a little bit. Meantime, you got wax. It's cheap. The dentist office sends it for free. The orthodontist office already sends it for free. This one, it was $2.99 for 2 packs of it, so it's about $1.50 a pack, but it is a good $1.50 if you have scratching and digging into your mouth. So that's about it for now. I hope that you got something useful out of the segment. Thanks. Have a great day.